So the common question we get asked all the time is my child old enough to travel to Disney? In this series, we'll tell you how we think they are. Series, we'll be looking at each area, such as taking your children around the parks, what rides are good, what rides are not so good, what we think you should book fast passes for. We'll be looking at the flights, how to prepare your child for flying, and in this particular episode we'll be looking at how to prepare your child to take them to the parks. So what we did was basically we booked our holiday like a year ahead, and within that whole time we basically introduced her to TV stations such as Disney Junior, and we also got Disney DVDs where we basically introduced her to all the different films. She may have not watched them all in their entirety, she got bored after the first few seconds, but we found that she still noticed the characters. When we were actually going around the parks, she sort of said, oh yeah, this is such and such, and yeah, it kind of prepared her.
The one that was most significant that we didn't think she'd actually enjoyed the film was Avatar, and yet when we went round the Navi River, she was pointing out all the Avatar characters. So as much as they don't seem like they're watching the films at the time, they are. She was very aware of everyone that was there. All the Disney princesses, she knew them from watching the films. So it's, in our opinion, and it worked for us, it was a good idea to watch films where we could before we went, just to prepare her for all the characters. Our Disney film collection is now huge because of this, but that's not such a bad thing.
No, we all like a Disney film collection.
We do.
So yeah, and obviously she's got some of the characters as well, like the plush toys, and she likes going into the Disney store, so it's kind of like preparing her what's to come. Obviously she's 2 now, and I think that's probably a good idea where she starts knowing what's going on and, you know, recognising characters and whatnot.
I think a very common question that we've kind of come across in Disney groups on Facebook, so for instance, people are like, oh, I've got a 2-year-old, is it wise to take them? Yes, it is. It's absolutely fine to take a 2-year-old to Disney, because she was very aware of what was going on, more aware than we even gave her credit for. So 2-year-olds are absolutely fine to go to Disney.
And look, she's playing with Buzz Lightyear, see? One other thing that we noticed, some comments people were making was, my child won't remember a thing. Well, okay, it's only been a month since, at the time of filming, since we went there, but a small little thing like we've seen a rainbow in the sky, and Alicia pointed out, oh, it's the same rainbow that we saw when we were landing. And if you've seen the vlog, when we were landing, there was a video when we were landing in Orlando, so it's right at the beginning of the holiday. She remembered, she saw a rainbow. I totally forgot, but she remembered.
She's remembering things we didn't even remember ourselves. So she's very switched on for a 2-year-old anyway, but I think that other people that have taken their 2-year-olds, if you have taken a 2-year-old and you want to give your advice to, comment below, so that other people can read your comments about it as but yeah, our 2-year-old was absolutely fine, and she enjoyed every second that she was there.
Now obviously this also applies to parents of older children. The more older they get, the more clued up they get. So I just want to talk about a little bit about the sort of things to be aware of, because obviously with any children in a park such as Disney or in a totally different climate, it's not entirely plain sailing, is it? So there were some things that we obviously learnt that we had to get over, which something to bear in mind. First of all, if your child's using a buggy or a stroller, that's great, because you will need to use one around parks, especially if they got like a sleep time during the day. during your normally daily activities, they could just fall asleep. But obviously, as you're probably aware, there's a lot of walking to do. You could easily do 10,000 steps within the first part of the morning. So basically you've got to prepare your child for that. If they're in the buggy, maybe they might want to walk around for a bit, some do, but at least if they get tired you've got the buggy, so be prepared for that. Now one thing you don't want to fall into the trap of thinking is that, you know, if your child is older as say 7, don't think, well, they don't use the stroller, they won't need a stroller. They probably will. They probably not walked as far as they were about to at Disney World.
It's surprising how many steps you actually walk. I mean, I haven't got a step counter or anything myself, but even the days where, if you've watched our vlogs where we were there only for like half a day rather than a full day, we still walked a lot. One of the things that we also noticed is if you've been before you've had children, and you've kind of used the tram from the car park up to the main gate, you do have to pack your stroller down. So we found it was just easier to just walk. And to be fair, at the minute where they're doing a lot of improvements in the entrance areas, they're not actually taking the tram very far. We were finding that we were parking quite close to the entrance actually. So it's not that far to walk from your car to the entrance. So if you've got a stroller, our suggestion is to just walk. You will be walking a lot, so strollers will be needed. Like Stephen said, even up to, up to 7-year-olds, you'll need a stroller.
Obviously with the tram as well, going back to the tram, you can obviously take the buggy on, but you've got to fold it.
It has to be folded down.
But bear in mind, if you've got a lot of stuff packed within it, as we did, then you've got to take it all out and fold it, and sometimes it's just quicker and easier just to walk it, isn't it?
So we had obviously Madam's bag for the day, and then we also we took our own little picnic just to have each day because it's expensive to eat it.
Which brings us nicely on to food. Now, our child is quite fussy.
She's your child, of course.
Probably
she's
my
fussy.
fault because I'm fussy. But there are certain brands that she has that she's familiar with, and it's quite difficult to get that in the USA in particular, or any foreign place for that matter. So what you've got to bear in mind is there are certain foods that you can take from England, and there are certain foods that you can't take. We generally just presume that you can't take anything.
Yeah.
Safer assumption, because they're always changing, like dairy products, fruit products, it changes. So you check on the website if you're not sure. But we didn't take anything. Now obviously there are a lot of brands that you're familiar with, things that they like to eat, so that's fine. But some things are totally different, aren't they, which kind of put it off a bit.
Like, for example, one thing that we just is so easy to get here is fruit squash, where you add water to concentrated juice. You can't get them in the USA. We went to all the different supermarkets, we went to all the little shops along where we stayed on International Drive just to find a squash based product, and you cannot get them. Alithia drinks a lot of squash, she's very fussy with water, so we needed a squash just to convince her to drink enough fluids throughout the day, and you can't get it. So, I mean, it might be worth checking with your travel operator at the time if something like a squash is something you could pack, because I think next time we might check if we can take a bottle of fruit squash in the suitcase with us, because it would just make life 10 times easier. Especially with Alithia, the first week she was very poorly all week. She was being extra fussy with what she wanted. So we found it incredibly hard to keep her hydrated, didn't we?
Yeah.
We found that Walmart had fruit shoot in it. Not very many. We actually cleared the shelf the first day that we were there. You did. Yeah, so we managed to get a few fruit shoots, but we ran out, and then they didn't restock it.
We got a high car.
Which we'll go into about hire cars in a minute.
But we managed to find some fruit shoots. Unbeknown to Alithia, we actually found some water fruit shoots, flavoured water ones, and we just filled up the purple bottles that we got with the water-based one, just to keep her drinking it, because she wouldn't drink the clear bottle ones because she didn't think that they were actually fruit shoots.
So it was a bit of trickery going on there.
Yeah, we're naughty parents, I know. But it kept her hydrated, which is what she needed while she was poorly.
Definitely. What I would suggest to you, if your child is like ours, a little bit sort of fussy about what they eat and what they don't eat, try and get them eating lots of different things while you're in England before they travel out. You'll find it a lot easier if you do. But if that's not possible, then obviously look into what they can and can't drink.
We got some juice.
That's her favourite. So yes, looking now at the time zone shifts. Now, most children obviously have their familiar sleeping pattern. We recommend that you don't try and change it when you get there. Your child will wake up, sleep whenever they want. So that's one good thing about taking a stroller. If you're out, they can just do what they want. So don't try and change it, because it will make your life a lot harder if you do. You'll get a lot of grumpy days and it will just make you a lot more stressed. Our child, she adapted pretty quickly.
She adapted better than I did.
The day we got there, she was straight into it, and perhaps most children will. But if they don't, if they're sleeping throughout the day, you may be worried, oh, is my child poorly? They're probably just adapting, and they will eventually get into it in their own time.
In the first few days, I reckon, yeah. They'll be fine. Just, allow them to sleep. That's the joys of having a stroller, even for older children. We've seen a lot of parents with, I would say, 7-year-olds in strollers. I don't blame them.
No. And also the climate, obviously. For those of you from the UK, as you know, anywhere you go abroad, it's going to be hotter than England.
That's why we go abroad.
And also parts of the US, obviously you're still travelling to the hottest part of the US, so again it's going to be different. So obviously give them plenty of fluids, goes without saying. You can get little buggy fans.
Yeah, we got one from Magic Kingdom, didn't we?
Yeah, you do pay a lot more for that, obviously. If you can get one before you go out, then do.
But yeah, you can get them. They're really easy to get hold of. Disney also do fans with little spray bottles where you can spray water.
Which is good, isn't it?
They're quite handy, as long as you don't mind getting your face wet. I personally don't like getting my face wet because I have makeup everywhere. But I think for children who don't wear makeup, they probably shouldn't wear makeup that young. They don't care. They just want to be cool. I mean, Alithia hated her fan because she was just being particularly fussy with everything because she wasn't very well.
But that's because I really want this.
But they are a godsend because it is hot.
We've seen a lot of children with them on, didn't they? They were loving it.
Yeah,
So that's an idea, and obviously, just keep them hydrated. Like I said, take breaks. Another one of Alithia's favourites, which we'll go into more in the later video about the rides, but it was dark rides, the water rides. She absolutely loved them because they were in aircon. It was nice and dark. She just sort of got time to take a bit of chill out, wasn't she? You know, just sitting on the ride enjoying it, and that's what she loves. So we did plenty of those. More of those, the better. Yeah. You know, even if you got to do the same one twice, just use those.
Yeah, definitely.
So going back to preparing for your trip, like I say, the earlier you book it, the better, because it gives you more chance to prepare. One thing that we found was particularly helpful was the app, the My Disney Experience app. If you download it in all good Google Play, Apple Store, you can basically plan your holiday, plan what rides you want to do, book your fast passes. We'll go into again on a later video about what fast passes we think would be particularly good for certain age groups. But there you can obviously plan what rides you want to do. Now if you're staying on site, you can do it 30 days in 60 days in advance. 30 days if you're staying off site.
Yeah.
And then
you will find with the 30 days you've probably missed some of the major rides, but you can keep an eye on them daily. Disney add fast passes throughout the day.
Yes.
So
keep an eye on them.
Keep an eye on it.
If you're staying on site, again 60 days in advance, and you can book your whole 2 week stay, I think it is, up to 2 weeks.
Yeah, in one go. Whereas if you're only on a 30 day, if you're off site and you've got 30 days, you can only book them one day at a time, 30 days in advance.
Yeah. So definitely make use of that. What we noticed, we obviously just booked fast passes as we've seen them come up. You can do that, but what we learnt from that is the best thing to do is to actually look on the park map, plan your sort of route around if you can, get a sort of logical route around. We found that was a little bit better, but it's up to you obviously, either way works, but as long as you sort of got something planned, then it makes it a lot easier, because obviously you've got a child to worry about. It's just a lot easier just to have things already pre-arranged. But we recommend that you pace yourself as well. Don't get one fast pass after the other, so you go. Try and allow yourself a little bit of time just to take a break, allow feeding your child or whatnot. So don't sort of go too full on. Give yourself a bit of time.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. The good thing about the app as well, I think most people have phones these days, so I would just download the app. It's got maps of each park, so you can kind of base what you're doing around your fast passes. You can base it around what sort of way around you'd go around the park, so that you're not finding yourself going backwards and forwards, round in circles, crisscrossing around the park.
Now, Disney are very good with even smaller children. For example, they've got nappy changing facilities and feeding facilities.
The feeding facilities, I think, are at the front of most parks.
Yeah, these are on the app, on the map, so if you're not sure where they are, just look for the symbol, it'll tell you. But they've also got first aid, which is good for any guest, but we found with our child, yeah, obviously when she weren't well, we thought she just getting dehydrated, wasn't drinking, so we take them straight to there, and they were great. They gave us some Gatorade, was it, with the electrolytes?
Powerade,
that's the one with the electrolytes, which gave her her energy and whatnot.
And they gave us some little thermometer strips that we could use to keep an eye on the temperature as well. Yeah, they were really helpful.
And cooling towels as well.
And and they gave us a little flannel. They put plenty of water on it and let us keep it.
So yeah, we found that the first aid facilities, which we found easily because we had the map on the app, were a peace of mind. So,
map on the app.
Map on the app, there you are, word of the day. And also, one particularly helpful thing for taking children of any age is the rides give you information as to what height children have to be to go on them, and also a recommendation for what sort of age group the ride is suitable for, such as young children, teens, etc, etc. So if you're not sure about the ride, obviously watch other vlogs, YouTube videos as well, give you information, but also the app has got everything you need to know on there for whether the ride is suitable for children. For example, Pirates of the Caribbean, we weren't sure, we thought it might be a little bit scary, so we looked at it and it did say children of all ages, so we just tried it and she loved it.
She loved it, it was one
she
of her
loves
favourites.
Yeah.
She was, if you've seen in our vlogs where we've been on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, you can probably hear Alithia singing in the background. The yo ho, a pirate's life for me. She loved it. She was singing along with them, and I think it definitely is a ride to take a little one on, which you wouldn't think so considering it's got scary pirates in it, but she loved it.
So don't be too cautious with the rides that you go in. You know, obviously you know your child, you know what they would like. So.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend taking a 2-year-old on Space Mountain, for instance.
Yeah, you
They
see
would probably fall out.
the app would obviously tell
Yeah,
you that
tell
you technically
you.
can't take one because they're too short. So yeah, moving on to packing daily items. So as you're well aware, when you're going out and about, as you do, you pack everything to suit for your daily needs, such as nappies, milk,
Wet wipes, milk,
yeah, wet wipes and all that.
drinks, food.
Obviously, yeah, when you're on holiday it's quite easy to sort of get taken away with the moment and forget these things, but obviously allow yourself time at the beginning of the day to make sure you've got everything. And also there's always a Walmart normally on the way or near the park if you need
There's
to.
a Walmart everywhere, or a Target.
Yeah, so you've got that as well, not to worry. But also don't forget the crucial sunscreen. And other things that you wouldn't normally probably pack if you lived, say, in the UK.
Sunscreen. I mean, it's like telling you all to suck eggs, but it's yeah, it's an essential. I mean, water parks, make sure you're applying it
And reapplying.
it. We all got a little bit sunburnt in the water park because it was a cloudier day. There was lots of rain around. However, it still gets you through the clouds apparently, and we all got sunburnt, including Alithia.
Thankfully,
she was
nowhere
not.
near as us.
I mean, I get sunburnt because I'm quite fair-skinned. Luckily, Alithia's got Daddy's skin, so she doesn't burn. She just tanned pretty much, didn't she? But yeah, you need to make sure you're reapplying it.
Can I say hello?
You can say hello. Come and say hello.
Here we are. Mr. Superstar's Gifts Way. Disney store.
We're going to the Disney store later.
We going in Mr. Superstars.
Yeah. Right. Say bye bye.
Bye bye.
Go that way.
So obviously there are things that you can also take into Disney, such as food. Obviously it can get a little bit pricey in Disney, but I would definitely say experience the food that Disney has to offer, like snacks and whatnot. But if you want to take your own picnic, such as we did, you know, just for lunch, just for snacking on, you can do that. So we used Walmart, didn't we, again?
Yeah.
Just got our weekly shop like we do at home, which was a lot cheaper, and then just take what we need each day, and a little bit extra just in case. You know, to get a little bit more hungry, then
Yeah.
take a little bit extra so you never fall short. But
Yeah. Luckily, they do allow you to take your own food on, which is, thanks Disney, that's very helpful for us
definitely.
who don't necessarily have all the money in the world to spend on their food. We did try some of their foods whilst we were there, mainly their snacks, didn't we? But yeah, but especially for Alithia, Little Miss Fussy Pot,
Yeah.
it was a lot better to take food that we knew she would eat with us. Yeah.
Because, for example, we have Walkers in England, and in America they have the same sort of brand Lay's, which Alithia recognised, and she was quite happy eating Lay's.
Yeah.
So we were able to take those into the park, just in case we couldn't get hold of them in Disney.
I mean, the flavour she had was questionable, but she...
She still liked it.
I can't even remember what the flavour was. I think it was like sour cream or something, but she
Yeah.
loved it because it was Lay's.
So, moving on to the all-important topic, and that is character meets.
Character meets!
Obviously, no Disney visit is the same with children without character meets. Even some of the adults like meeting characters.
Which I don't blame them, they're cute.
Yeah, exactly. So again, we prepared for this. I think it was about almost a year in advance. It was her birthday, and some of you in England will know the characters of In the Night Garden, which we basically similar sort of characters, whether in full costume and whatnot. And they don't talk.
You mean they're not real?
No. So they didn't talk, which was a lot like Disney characters, so we kind of got that test with her. And her first character that she met was Iggle wasn't it?
Iggle
I was going to say also Daisy, Iggle, and she was quite wary of him.
Very scared.
Which is normal for her age.
I mean, he's quite big and scary and very blue, so...
So she was a bit sort of reluctant, but we had her cousin with her as well, who was a little bit more forward with the characters because she's met a lot of characters beforehand, so we kind of thought that's the way forward, just to get them used to meeting characters. So if you can get any opportunities to meet characters, then get as many as you can in, because it will get them fully acclimatised to it when they go to Disney.
Whilst we were in the Night Garden Live, she met Iggle first, then Upsy Daisy. By the time she went and met Upsy Daisy, she was fine.
Yeah.
Upsy Daisy was the better character. I think she's a little bit more friendly, perhaps looking.
Well,
she's a little bit more
luckiest
human
favourite,
looking than Iggle. So yeah.
But largely, I think she kind of got the idea of
that they were fine. They're not scary. So yeah, if you can, even there are some theme parks around the UK that have character meets. I know. For instance, like Alton Towers, they have
holiday parks as well.
Yeah, holiday parks. Alton Towers, they have a whole CBeebies land, which has got lots of characters in. Got Peppa Pig World, that's got Peppa Pig. A lot like your Butlins, your Havens, places like that. If you get a chance to do a weekend away to those, they've all got characters that you can meet. Just get them used to it.
Which also goes back to character familiarisation. So basically, also she watched the programme, she knew who they were. So, for example, Vampirina, as you probably hear in the background, she knew obviously who they were, and she loved it when she saw Vampirina.
Oh, Vampirina wouldn't let her go either, which was quite cute.
We'll put a few pictures in now. So yeah, so definitely get as much as you can in. Overall, with the whole holiday process, just expect what you'd be going into and try and prepare them in any way you can, you know. Even if it's like a warm day on the seaside, you know, prepare them for what's to come.
Yeah, just
things like that.
Yeah, that's what this whole video was about, just kind of giving you our ideas of how we prepared for what we knew was coming. We'd been before to Florida, so we kind of knew what to expect. I mean, we didn't do the character meets because it wasn't our thing at the time. However, it was definitely one of the things we wanted to do with Alithia because she loves all the characters.
And it does make it more magical.
Yeah, it does, definitely. They meet their idols. I mean, Alithia watched the Disney Store all day, every day, where we let her. When we didn't want to watch something ourselves. The telly became hers for quite a long time whilst we were waiting to go. But yeah, so she watching the Disney Channel. That was a lot of preparation there, and she got to meet all of her favourite characters. So, for example, at Hollywood Studios, they have got a whole Disney Junior area. We knew Alithia loves Disney Junior, so we decided to take her to that area. It's probably where we spent the most time when we were at Hollywood Studios. And she got to meet Vampirina, Fancy Nancy Clancy, sorry, got it wrong. And that we only met those two, but they have also got Doc McStuffins, and they've also got Pluto in that area as well. It's right near the Star Tours ride.
Yeah.
And they've also got the Disney Junior Dance Party. That is fantastic.
All the theme tunes.
It's got all of the theme tunes, well, not all of them, but a lot of the theme tunes. And the kids are allowed to get up and dance. They encourage them to get up and dance. It was just lovely. It was fantastic. And she enjoyed every minute because Disney Junior is her favourite channel. And yeah. And they even get the characters out on that as well. Vampirina came out, Doc McStuffins came out, Mickey and the Roaster Racers, you had Mickey turn up at the very end. And they also had Timon they had the Lion Guard, which is a spin-off of the Lion King, but Timon comes on because Timon and Pumbaa do appear in the Lion Guard all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just really nice.
So yeah, to summarise then, we think it's definitely worth taking children of all ages to Disney.
We saw babies there as well, so
Yeah, I mean babies, it's a lot easier because obviously
they sleep.
yes, you've got to feed in the day, you've got to stay in a feeding routine, but they do they're content no matter what. 2-year-olds, we found, you know, as long as you prepare for those things, then they're fine. And obviously, the older the children, the more they understand, even better it will become. And we're glad that we've taken Alithia at this age because we've got these years ahead now of her childhood to keep going back, and building on the memories, which we were glad we did. If we'd have waited until she was 7 or 8, then I think we would regret it because we would have missed all them years of taking her to Disney. You know,
definitely.
We can't go that often as much as we'd like, but you know,
it makes it more special for us and for Alithia each
Yeah.
time we do go. It makes her appreciate what we've got coming. So yeah, it's a fantastic place to take kids of all ages. Yeah.
So definitely we give it a thumbs up. Take your children to Disney, no matter what age. Yeah, a Mickey thumbs up, definitely. So obviously, parents out there, if you've taken your children to Disney before and have any tips, then obviously don't forget to share them in the comments below because it helps out other parents as well. And
if there's anything that you want us to cover within this series of tips videos, we've got plenty more videos coming up, so you know, like and subscribe to keep on top, to keep up with our videos. If there's anything that you think we might have missed in this first video, comment below and we can always add it into later videos.
Yeah, definitely.
And just if there's anything that if you've got a 2-year-old and you're wondering,
or older,
although we might not have the experience with older children, but we can, you know, we'll help out where we can. But if you've got a 2-year-old and you're wanting to see what it's like to take them along to places like Disney World, then yeah, just comment below on anything that you would like us to cover. Yeah. And we will try our best. We'll give you our opinions. These are just our opinions on anything. If you think that you have any other opinions or tips or helpful things, again, comment below for people to read. But yeah, everything is our opinion.
It's what we've learned.
And we just thought we'd share them with you, just if there's anything that you're worried about.
Just to make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
If we do that, then that's great.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Say thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.